Professor Sagay, SAN, Chairman, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, has advised President Muhammadu Buhari and Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu to allow ordinary Nigerians to bear firearms in order to protect themselves. Speaking exclusively with Daily Independent in Lagos, Sagay said the federal government was overwhelmed by various security challenges bedeviling the nation, such as Boko Haram insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, herdsmen attacks, and others. Added that Nigerians should be allowed to defend themselves when attacked. According to him, unprovoked attacks, especially on villages by bandits, will drastically reduce in the country if the communities are allowed to arm themselves with weapons to defend themselves. Comparing present-day Nigeria to its youthful days, Sagay said the level of insecurity today is unprecedented, adding that the nation witnessed unprecedented amounts of bloodshed, destruction of properties, and displacement of people from their native homes and places of businesses. The country has become so dangerous. All sorts of things are happening nowadays. You have kidnappers, bandits, Fulani herdsmen, Boko Haram. The reality is that there is nowhere that is safe in the country. Traveling by road today is very risky endeavor that one will hardly try. So, there is total insecurity in the country, okay? I don't know what has gone wrong, why our people have become so violent and savage. Individuals no longer feel safe outside his own house. I am not even sure that one is absolutely safe in his own house. What I would like to suggest to the government is that they should allow ordinary Nigerians to carry arms. Everybody who wants to carry arms as a form of self-defense should be allowed to do so. This is necessary so that when these bandits and miscreants attack them, they will know that the person they attack has the capacity to defend himself. All these restrictions on owning weapons should be lifted. Let the generality of the public be allowed to own weapons, especially in all those villages where they are being massacred. Their men should be given weapons so that when the attackers come, they will also be given a challenge which may discourage them in future. We have had cases where bandits attack villages, but the people are powerless to defend themselves. By the time the security agents come in, the attackers had left. They will look for a quiet time and launch another attack. That will stop if the people have the capacity to defend themselves. While absolving President Muhammadu Buhari of blame, Sagay said any other government would have been overwhelmed as nobody could have envisaged the torrent of attacks happening in all parts of the country. Let me say this, there is a tendency to blame the president, but it is not the president's fault. I am not a psychologist, but the way I see it, it is society developing in the wrong direction. It has nothing to do with the government. Of course, it could have something to do with the level of poverty, unemployment, and so on, but you can see that it is everywhere, both in urban and rural areas, as Zamfara, Taraba, and Yobe, not rural areas. We can say that the urban youths are unemployed. What is the excuse of the youth in the rural areas? What are these in the area? So it is not all about the way people always envisage or think about it. Truly, the government is overwhelmed because no government will envisage an attack like this from every direction. It's as if all the miscreants from different genres and denominations have held a conference where they agree that they should torture and torment the country at the same time. So it is difficult, and it is not the fault of the government. It is the time that we are in. Any other government would have been in a dilemma over this matter. It is so overwhelming. We don't have enough security forces to cope with all this, he said. In a related development, Mike Ejiofor, a former Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, on Sunday advised President Buhari to change the service chiefs. Ejiofor, who said this while speaking on Channels Television, expressed the belief that changing the service chiefs' tactics, equipment, and approaches would lead to progress in the fight against insecurity. He said, I expect that Mr. President should take Nigerians by surprise, change the service chiefs, and Nigerians, their attitude to security agencies should change too. I think by the change of tactics, equipment, attitude, service chiefs, and approaches, we would make some progress. I believe this very strongly. I don't understand Professor Sagay. The so-called bandits, are they being arrested? So everybody, is that now everything they will not blame themselves. Why would not go to blame him? The person that said in 6 months that he's going to get rid of all of these people. Unfortunately, they've added another set of people. Why would they not be overwhelmed? These people who are always doing wrong things, especially how many Mieti Allah, or what do they call them? Fulani Esme. How many of these bandits? What do? They negotiate with them. And you are telling us it's not the government's fault. When they don't do anything, they don't arrest them. Across the country, where have you heard that they arrest all these S-men? They don't arrest them. And you are telling us it is not the government's fault. So this is what you want to create. Everybody should just have it. Then I don't understand. If you do the needful, because that is not even the right thing in my opinion, do the needful. Those who are involved in all of this crime, by the time they are apprehended and they are prosecuted, they will not try it. It will serve as a lesson. But a situation whereby you will negotiate with them, just like what happened in the state, the governors, the president's seat. In my opinion, I don't think that is the right thing. You are not arresting them. You are not doing anything. You are folding your arms. And you are saying it is not the government's fault. Oh, you are saying it is not because of poverty. So it is not because of unemployment. So those who are in the rural area, there's already made job for them. Is that what this man is telling us? Because I can't really get it. Buhari refused to prosecute Boko Haram. Yes, he called them repentant. He changed the name of Fulani terrorists to bandits. He promised to make Nigeria ungovernable. This has happened under his watch. He has lost total control. What a failure. He said now that Sagay, who is one of their party people or their whatever, is agreeing to the fact that the government is overwhelmed. So that means they don't even know what to do. Change service chief. He says he's not going to change them. If they are even working and functioning very well, it would have been a different thing. So they are overwhelmed, meaning that there's nothing they can do about it, according to what Sagay is saying. So the best thing is to let every individual begin to get their own weapon. This man is really confused. So I'm the one to take the blame. I don't understand though. It's as if all the miscreants from different dominations have held a conference where they agreed they should torture and torment the country at the same time. Confused governments. Sagay, you are economical with the truth. How can you exonerate the president from this calamity? In a nutshell, Buhari has failed. However, I agree completely that people should be allowed to protect themselves since government has shown some level of incapacity in the handling of security, handling of her security, and that's it. They are not, they are overwhelmed. They can't do anything. Well, useless and biased son speaking from both sides of his mouth. This type of person should not be taken serious, because to me he has made no point but only seeking unnecessary. Mr. Sagay, have you forgotten easily when you are praising that is the one that can handle Nigeria, but today drum set beating have changed? Buhari government did not need any advice from anybody again. If Sultan of Sokoto can distance himself from Buhari, Kabas and his cabinet to know that the wrath, vengeance and judgment of God is coming upon them soon. Don't you guys know this man called Sagay? How on earth you exonerate Buhari? That is the president that went to Egypt, where he invited all Fulani from every part of Africa to Nigeria. He opened the northern borders for bandits to flood into the country. They will not see all of those things. I don't even know how these people reason. Ogasage, for you to say it has nothing to do with the government, it is half truth. You can't bite the finger that is feeding you, but one day you will all pay for it. The only mistake people like you make each time you comment on issues like this is to absolve Buhari of any blame. I don't understand. I don't know. When a good man is on the throne, his followers rejoice, but when a bad man is on the throne, the followers suffer. So guys, let us hear your opinion. What do you make up of this Professor Sagay's statement? Because I don't understand what the man is trying to say. So you have to blame me. It is not Buhari at all. It is not his Fourth, it is the people, hi, my goodness. These are old people that people, they expect the younger ones to emulate them in this, not being always economical with the truth. They will see black, they will say it the way it is, and let the devil be ashamed. And you are telling us what is not.